We saw quite a few interesting things go down in the practice for the Missouri Tigers Monday morning. Joey Van Zummeren with Missouri Tigers on SI, and I was at that practice. And the thing that stuck out to me the most as we're kicking off week 3 of fall camp for Missouri is the fact that Cayden Green was taking first team reps at left tackle instead of left guard, where he started all of last season and played at with Oklahoma in 2023 before transferring to Missouri. Now, with left tackle, Missouri actually tried him out there in the spring after he transferred from Oklahoma in the spring of 2024 for those practices. But once they acquired Marcus Bryant through the spring transfer portal ahead of that season, who had started at left tackle at SMU beforehand, they decided to move Cayden over to left guard. And maybe acquiring Bryant and looking for a left tackle in the transfer portal in the spring was a reaction to what they saw from Cayden in the spring there. But at the very least, they've tried him out there before. He played there in his first ever game of his career at Oklahoma, 38 snaps there at left tackle. He played at tackle in high school as well, so he seems to have this versatility. Obviously, just the question of will that versatility hold up in the SEC against the most elite of the elite pass rushers in college football. I think just based off of his builds, his attributes that we know about Cayden Green, I think he is athletic enough to play tackle, and I think he's wide enough to play tackle out there as well. But obviously, we just don't know how he's able to hold up different skill set that he'd have to learn. Now, I think what's interesting about this and the fact that Cayden is playing on that left side is just what it might say about how Missouri feels about its other options at tackle. This is more than anything, in my opinion, a statement indicative of how the Missouri coaching staff feels about Javen Richardson and Johnny Williams IV, the two contenders for that left tackle job all fall, how they feel about those two guys more than wanting to move Green around. Because when I asked offensive line coach Brandon Jones about the possibility of Cayden moving back to left tackle this spring, he wasn't too adamant about it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in some emergency situations, I really do believe that, he has the ability to play both. I know he is a little bit more comfortable inside, so just trying to get him settled in there, just not moving necessarily a strength or returning piece to try to, that's really where the musical chair stuff kind of happens. So I'm trying to avoid that as much as I can.
So it's mostly been Javen Richardson, a former JUCO transfer who has been taking those first team left tackle snaps, and he was going with the twos today behind Cayden Green. But Eli Drinkwood said going into this week that they wanted to try out a few different things along the offensive line.
No, we're gonna make a change next week and see. We're gonna make some adjustments next week and see if we can't find. The goal is to get the best five, and so we still got 2 more weeks to get there. And so next week we'll make a change, and we're going to see if we got a different starting five next week to see what it looks like.
Now, this is certainly not set in stone. This is the first practice, at least us in the media have seen, where Cayden has been taking those snaps at left tackle. However, we don't get to see the team drills during practices every time we go there. So maybe they've tried this out before in the fall. But at the very least, for Cayden's point of view, him and his agent, if they feel confident in his ability to play at tackle, then they would be thrilled with this news. If Cayden can get a good season of tape, probably his last of his collegiate career, I would imagine he's going to declare for the NFL drafter after the season. If he can project as a tackle in the league and get a season of tape on that, then that would be great for him. Tackle plays a lot better than guard in the NFL. So interested to see how this ends up playing out, and interested to hear Eli Drinkwood's thoughts on this later in the week, if this is a thing we can expect heading into the season. But from Missouri's point of view, if Cayden is capable of playing it, you put your best offensive lineman at the most important position on the entire line.